Good evening. Welcome to another episode of Sip and Chat, Season 2, Episode 4. If you missed the last set of episodes, go on to Low Strength TT on Facebook, YouTube, and we also have a podcast now, so be sure to check it out. Details in the description below. All right, so the topic this evening, boy, this one is a good one. We're talking about body shaming, but from a male perspective. You know, are men affected by body shaming the same way women are? Before I go any further, I want to make sure and let you all know that this evening we have a special guest. You all may have seen him in the last season of Sip and Chat when we discussed men's health. His name is Dwayne Jackson. He's a fitness coach from Gorilla Fit TT, right? So just want to say good evening to Dwayne. You'll be hearing from him soon. So yeah, back to the topic at hand, body shaming. Let me give you all my version of how body shaming has affected me. You're scrolling on Facebook and Instagram and you're looking at the comments that these ladies making on these men with the chiseled body and the nice thick beard, you know, full hair, rasta. And come now, man, tell me something. How I supposed to compare to that? You know, me with my little belly, again, ball in the middle here, kind of like bourgeois, but anyway. We're not talking about that this evening. How am I supposed to match up to that as a man? You know, seeing these things make me feel like getting up and running a marathon. You know, trying to get fit, trying to get six packs like my homie who's here tonight with us, Kilvel. Tell me, Anthony, how does body shaming affect you? We'll get back to my story a little later. How does body shaming affect you? Let's talk about that.
All right, for me, I have been used to being slim, and I would say that getting older and also getting into a lot more work where my work is more intense, I work longer hours, and then on top of that I got married, I had a son. My body and age as well, my body started to adjust. So I gained some weight. So as opposed to 10 years ago where I would have been 150 to 165 pounds, I'm now closer to 200 pounds. And of course, with that, I am conscious of my weight and I'm conscious of my health because even though I'm generally healthy, I am concerned that my weight would affect my longevity. But it also affects my own perception of self if somebody comes and says, hey, look, hey, my life's treating you good. We'll call you back. And the thing is, really and truly, it's not that, age, work, that kind of, those things actually factor. But at the same time, I'm also actively trying to not gain more weight. So as much as I can, I try to walk. As much as I can, I try to keep myself fit. So when somebody just ups and say, hey, look how married life, you're putting on size. It's like you're literally.
But did you used to work out as much as you do now before you got married?
It used to be off and on, really off and on.
So then it's safe to say that the little comments that you're getting about getting married and putting on the weight is what really encourage you to, besides the fact that you want to be living healthy and thing. When you get the little two comments and thing from your friends in the office, it's because you're on that evening and you jump on your Nike app and all over the place on Facebook you're seeing Anthony make a 2 miles. So you're already saying the comments is already inspired us.
Partly the comments.
Alright. So it's safe to say that body shaming has affected you. Rossi, yes. Let's bring you into the conversation now. Let me know, how does body shaming affect you? Growing up, was it ever a thing where somebody might have called you fat boy or called you, big head, and you felt a kind of way about it?
Yeah, well, I've been called many names, and good night, everybody. Gentlemen, good night. Viewers, good night. I have been called many names. Fat boy, skinny boy, because at one point in time, believe you me, I was a little skinny. Head was real big. You know, people used to tell me my head and matching my body.
So you grew into your head?
Sorry, what's that?
You grew into your head?
Well, somewhat. Boy, as I say, I've been called many names. At times it were, at a younger age, I would say, not now. At a very younger age, I would have studied it, I would have taken it on, I would have stressed on it. But no one knows the journey that I've been through and the things I've been through fully but myself. And that caused my body structure to change in different ways on a number of occasions. And I accepted it, and I'm comfortable with it in a way. Because as much as currently I'm at the biggest I was ever in my entire life, but there are reasons for that. And I want to be healthy. I've always looked at trying to be healthy. So, I'm working on that.
So I can relate to you in concern where we talking about things that happened in your life that caused your body to mayhem, probably put on weight, or you weren't able to do certain things. Because I have my challenges also, and what would have happened is that at some point in time I was not able to work out the way I used to when I was a teenager, when I was younger. So I went from being somebody that had biceps like probably not as big as Curve alone, but yeah, but I did have a shape that was what we deem healthy based on society's measurements, and due to health situations and stuff like that, I wasn't able to work out, and I may have put on some weight. And now with age, every time my son sees me, it's a joke, "Daddy, again another gray hair," and I kind of play it off like ha ha ha, but I'm really like, boy, you don't know. It wasn't my son. But let's bring in the fitness guru into the conversation. Introducing Dwayne. Good night. Give us your view on body shaming, Dwayne. How do you feel about it? Have you ever been called anything that made you feel a kind of way?
All right. Firstly, good afternoon, gentlemen. Thank you for the invite. Always a pleasure here being with you all. I'm loving the topic tonight. So with me now, in terms of my personal life, I am short. It might not look so on the screen, but I am short, right? I've always been short. I've always been short, and from very early, it has always affected me mentally. And I have always felt, that taller people were always better, whatever the case is. So as I got older, so as I got older and I started to lose my hair, so it's like you're short and you're losing your hair. People wouldn't find you as attractive, and people wouldn't find you as desirable, or whatever the case is. So even though I am married now, there's still this thing where you still want to look good. You still want people to look at you and say, "Hey, you look good." And that has it took a while for me to get used to or comfortable with myself and being short and accepting, well, hey, that's just how it is. But it was a long journey, and it did affect me a lot even when I was going in secondary school. But I think now that I've accomplished certain things, that you realize that it doesn't matter as much as I thought it used to.
So is it that if you were not married at this point in time, and you did not achieve the things that you have achieved that have grown your self-confidence, that you would not have felt the same way about your height in terms of your insecurities that you may have had before?
I think that I would have gone down the road where I would have looked at it like, obviously these are my limiting factors. These are the things that's keeping me back. So my height, maybe losing my hair, and all of those things are things that are keeping me back from attaining certain goals.
Is that based on society's measurements, or is that based on how you see yourself?
Well, to me, I have always looked at even superheroes and action figures and action movie stars as, they were always big and tall and muscular, and that was society's view as what a man was. So even when I was growing up I'm 40 now, so when I was growing up in the 80s and 90s, it was like Mr. T, and it was Arnold Schwarzenegger and all of those guys who were big and strong and muscular, and you had to be bigger and strong, or you have to have a certain sex appeal, or so you start comparing yourself based on the media. So what the media put out there, and you look at yourself on the magazines, and it's like, okay, well, I don't look like that. I don't look like the magazines and the models and the action stars, so then maybe I am not desirable to the opposite sex. That's how I looked at it.
And Kieran, what I'm realizing too is that society has this opinion that body image and body shaming is basically for women alone. And what is evident here, and I'm sure in society, is that body image and body shaming issues affect men just as much. And it's just as complex with co-equal components. Because as you rightfully started off by saying, the media tells men that we should look a particular way, we should be lean, we should be strong, we should be muscular. But in my view, I think that the male body image struggle is a lot more than just that. I think it depends on if they want to land a mate, they have to look a certain way, because girls like this, because the media as well are programming women as how the ideal man should look. And I think too, among other concerns, men are figuring out how to deal, as I said before, coexisting issues. So apart from your weight and him looking muscular, men dealing with hair loss, and Dwayne mentioned height perception. If you're short, you can't get through. If you're tall, you can get through. I remember I was doing height once and I get blank. The girl tell me, hey, you're short, brother. You can't get through. And it bothered me until I probably get tall subconsciously. I don't know. And then another thing that end up, because they want to achieve a certain image, abusing drugs, they could become depressed. They might, it lends to mental health issues. What do you think, Kevin? I hear you for the night.
Well, I'm listening to Anthony, Rossi, and Dwayne, and starting to think like I may be a combination of all three. No, but over the years, I've had, I'll say, weight fluctuations. When I was a teenager, I started putting on a lot of weight. I didn't know. If it's one thing, I always had this mental image of myself of how I look, and it was never fat. But I remember my days on the basketball court, there was one particular guy, fat boy, pass the ball. Fat boy, oh gosh. Always on my case, boy. I was like, want to this man, boy, fat boy. And then I think I got a bicycle for Christmas or something, riding through Library. And apparently I started to lose the weight again. When I look in the mirror, I never used to see a belly or extra weight. I just had one image in my mind. And then I started to lose the weight, apparently. The scale didn't show any difference. And then he said, fat boy, you piping. Fat boy, you smoking now. I losing so much weight, boy. But again, the scale wasn't affected. But that really used to annoy me, Well, other than that, the hair loss, the sunroof, I remember when I discovered it, I shared that one on Facebook. My daughter was trying to put a clip in my hair, and I was like, baby, my hair too short, you can't get a clip in there.
Sure, as I say sunroof, remember, cars with sunroof are a little more expensive than...
You understand?
I love it.
Well done. Anyhow, she eventually got the clip in my hair, and I was like, what? You real good girl. Take daddy phone and take a picture. Let me see how pretty this clip looking. Yeah, nah, man. When I take the phone and watch the picture and see all the top here shining, I say, what?
You didn't realize you were balding.
I didn't know. And then I guess I'm a little tall, so probably people wouldn't notice as well.
And you wouldn't believe it. I realized my hair was thinner in the back. I was on the basketball court. And a guy walked up to me and said, hey, getting ball. I said, shut this you're talking about, you mad or? And I went by my girlfriend and said, babe, my hair thinning. She said, yeah, your hair thinning a while now. Boy, I was devastated. I was like, but you ain't saying nothing, you crazy or no girl,
So Kevin, how did that affect you? What did you do? You went and you cut off all your hair and that's how you end up with this hairstyle?
No, well, you see, ever growing up, you're looking at Michael Jordan and then when you're saying, boy, if I ever losing my hair, I go and shave my head, yes? But apart from that, as I said before, it had mental issues attached to it because I remember I went through different stages in this hair loss thing. At first, I was in denial. I wasn't going through that, so money started to spend. So it started to affect my finances, you understand? Because I want to get Euro gain. I had to make sure I get this. I had to make sure I get that to combat it. And not understanding that, it was genetic. It's going to happen regardless what you do. And then after that, I was like, wait, boy, you're studying how you will look. If you will be as attractive, if you will be less attractive, how the girls will respond to this, how your partner's going and respond to it. You have a lollipop head, you have a big head. And I had a lot of people had to reaffirm and tell me, it's all right and whatnot. And eventually, maturity after a while takes its toll, and you say, you know what?
So then it's fair to say that you were judging yourself based on society's idea.
Definitely. And you see, the thing is, like growing up, I was very skinny. When I tell you skinny, very skinny, but I will only recognize that when I look at pictures now. Growing up, I didn't feel skinny. I didn't feel strong. I didn't feel fat. I just know I was fit playing sports because I'm always into sports. So it didn't really matter. It didn't really affect me. I mean, friends used to call me, and family members and relatives used to say, hey, my nickname was Bag of Bones at a point in time. And I was like, what are you talking about, you know? But when I look in the mirror, I couldn't see it. And once again, I'm bringing in the mental health because, when you talk about anemic bulimia and all those kinds of different conditions, when you look in the mirror, you see something totally different from how you really are. That it lends to eating disorders and stuff like that. And so, I guess that's what it. But the hair loss, I would say, was the catalyst of me saying, nah, boy, I had to take control and start to work out. And, thin, tall, and bald. What you doing, man?
So Anthony, tell me something. Do you think that for some reason or the other that you feel bad for not living up to society's idea of what the ideal man should look like? 6 feet tall, six pack, Well,
I don't have the problem with the 6 feet tall, and for a long time I didn't have a problem with the six pack. One of the issues that I would have had for a bit was that when I turned 25, my hair started to gray. My hair started to go gray. So I had one or two at the top, and then my beard started to go gray. So by the time I was probably 32 or 33, you're just seeing those sprouts. And then the entire beard goes gray. Your side of your hair goes gray. And I'm thinking, do I dye it? Do I get rid of it? What do I do? Because you don't want to be an old man. And at that time, my girlfriend then, who is my wife now, she was like, I know somebody who was either man had gray hair. It don't matter.
Yeah, you're associating your gray hair with being old. Yeah?
Yes, that's what I did.
It's all on self-confidence as well, because just as Anthony saying at one point when he realized he was getting gray, he was taking it on. I actually embrace my grays because I like gray hairs. Like,
Rusty, you have grays?
Just a few.
I never noticed.
But it's something that it don't affect me, like gray hairs and things. I know it's part of life and I don't associate it with being
basically, Russ, what you're saying is all about perception too, and what you believe is attractive and not, because in different parts of the world, different cultures will view you as being perfect or imperfect, for want of a better word. Some Caribbean islands will love the big fellas with the belly and whatnot. They say, yes, if you ain't jiggling, you ain't healthy. You understand? And elsewhere, if you go to Europe, you'll find the thin people with the pants. So it's all about culture too, and how you embrace yourself. Another thing that I realized that we ain't touching on, fellas, and I feel like all you're trying to play hooky. What about genital size? Because we always hear men talking about it, and it could lead to, if you're not confident with yourself and the opposite sex, it could lead to low self-esteem, shame, and even embarrassment, and it could affect your sex life. Talk to me about that. Any of you all invested in penis pumps and stuff?
No, I've never had that issue.
Confidence is everything. So you had to be confident, man, when you're jumping out there, and you can't.
No, the reason why I say that is because, listen, if you go to school, the first thing, like if you fall out with a significant other or any female, the first thing they'll look to tell you, and you're small, you can't do nothing, and it's a big laughing stock, and really you'll truly be laughing at it, but it could lend to shame for a man, especially if he deems himself as having a small tool. You know what I mean? So that's why people will invest in different, because just as women will do breast enlargement and butt augmentations and stuff, men have actually invested in trying to get a bigger area to please a woman. I'm making sense on it.
Yeah, you are. But what I want to know, right? What adds to that sense of confidence that would make you walk around and strut your chest and try to talk to a young lady? What gives you that sense of confidence as a man?
What does give men a sense of confidence to be taking penis shots and sending for women? First of all, I could never understand that, but it happens.
I agree with you on that one. I really agree with you on that one because I can't see a man just taking a pic and sending for a woman. I find that wrong. Unless a woman requests it, well, she might get it. Well, I mean, these are my days before pre-marriage, before more.
Step lightly, Rossi. This is not the open relationship conversation.
Cover your base quickie.
So Dwayne, hear this now. Fellas who approach you in the gym for whatever reason, are they very, how to put it, outspoken, or are they very confident in what they want to look at, or are their motives for starting to work out with you superficial? What are their thoughts when they start to work out?
Good question. Most men who approach me for personal training or advice or whatever is I would say more than 75% all about aesthetics. Right. Nobody, even though it's all about healthy living and those things, everything is about the first thing most people ask me, you on any drugs? Right. What protein to take? And how quickly can I get big? It's never what is the process. Is always
and the health behind it. Yeah. Right.
How quickly can I achieve a certain look? That's all I want to achieve, a certain look. I want to get girls to like me. I want to get girls to find I'm sexy, and that's pretty much it. It's never really about health and the benefits of exercising. It's always about how to get big and how to get more attractive, basically. Yeah.
Because generally men are very timid when it comes to health. They don't like to visit the doctors. They don't want to go and get the prostate check and stuff like that. So I could see how that affecting the thought processes in starting a gym. What do you tell men? Sorry, Theon, you were saying something?
No, I was going to ask the same question. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, I usually try to get them on the path of health first. And then everything falls into place in terms of it becomes a habit, it becomes a lifestyle, and it falls into place. But most times they're just interested in how quickly can I get a six pack, how quickly can I build muscles, how quickly can I be attractive. Basically, that is at the end of the day. Most times that is what is what they want to do. And the sad thing is. I understand because in today's society, that's what is driven by. Most times, good-looking people. So we always talk about women who sleep their way up to promotions and stuff. But I would say that men do the same thing too. Men use the assets, men use the looks, the physique, whatever, to reach certain places.
Assets. So I like it.
So is there ideal shape or body image that men should be working towards?
I would say personally, it there's no ideal body shape. Everybody is different. Everybody is unique. Everybody has different genetics. So the first thing I would always say is always about health. How healthy can I become? How healthy can I get?
Right.
The sexiness will just come from eating right, exercising and stuff, but it's always about the health first.
Okay, cool.
I have a question I wanna ask Dwayne. Dwayne, as you say, the guys come to you in the gym. I was wondering. Okay, so Kerwell had mentioned about the cultural norms. So apparently in Trinidad we into the buff men, the slim women, the extra boobs or butt for the ladies, the men, I don't know, tall, strapped or something like that. But we also spoke about being self-confident. Rossi would have mentioned that. The guys that come to you or you train, how is their confidence? And I'll tell you why I asked. Because I have a friend, a partner, that was really small. And he was, he lacking self-confidence. And now the guy, he went to the gym, he bulked up a lot. And still he doesn't seem satisfied with himself. He's still watching what he calls belly fat. I see it, I can't see it. and no matter what, he doesn't seem to be satisfied. Similar to like women, as Kevin was mentioning with the bulimia and the
anorexia, yeah.
So the guys, do you find that they have the same thing happening with them in terms of confidence being low, no matter the shape or size now?
That's another good question. It all depends on the standard that you set for yourself. It depends on how you perceive yourself. So if your self-esteem is really low, you are looking at anything that's going to help my self-esteem. And sometimes you might think, well, it might be working out. You might think it might be buying a new car. It might change how I dress. But it doesn't work the same for everybody. So somebody might go to the gym and get a six-pack and confidence level shoot through the roof. Some people might go to the gym and get a six-pack and it still would not get them where they think they want to be. So everybody is striving for something different. So we talk about body shaming, but a lot of men are not, I would say, mentally strong. A lot of men are mentally unprepared to deal with criticisms about their body and stuff. So they take everything personal. So sometimes your friend might give you a pecan about, hey, your belly getting big, boy, what's going on, boy? But you might, because it's a friend, you might say, well, okay, well, it's stripper talk. But let's strange, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. So the pressure from the wife and the friends and thing could affect the self-esteem.
Oh, definitely. Any criticism could affect you, whether it be positive or negative. Some people don't take positive criticism. Some people take all criticism as the same.
Yeah.
I'm sure I agree with you, because like in the gym, Dwayne could attest it. The most sickening thing is hearing fellas give each other compliments. It's like, oh good, yeah boy, our arms like you. Were you talking about, look at them legs, yeah boy, if I could get legs like that. Wait, watch that chest now, boy. And it's real, in my mind, I feel like, what nonsense now, you understand?
So wait, so like, Kabel, let me ask you something, right? When you go to the gym, there's nobody that is working out on those machines that you look at and you say, okay, I want to achieve that body.
Well, as Dwayne mentioned, it all depends on what your goal is, So if your goal is to be the best you will try to achieve the best you that you possibly could. So in working out, like men who are fitness enthusiasts, they always try to be better than they were yesterday. So it doesn't matter if it's gym, it's any type of sport. And once you're into that line of working out and stuff, you always try to set personal records and be better. So in that regard, it will all fall back into as well your genetics and how you are makeup, because not everybody could attain the same body structure, and all boils back down to what the media is feeding you and what you are allowing yourself to feed into.
So what's your goal then, Kevin? When you go to the gym, what is the end result you're looking at?
Well, to tell you the truth, yes, I am all focused on health and being healthy, but the byproduct of that is you look good. You understand? And I ain't fronting, you want to look good too. So that's part of it as well.
So are you keeping up this physique? I understand the healthy part, but are you keeping up this physique so that your wife remains interested in you?
Ooh.
I would, well, if she is only interested in me because of my physique, then something wrong.
No, it's not only your physique, but the reality is that because we as men, right, our wives, our girlfriends get pregnant, they put on a little baby fat, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh God, go in the gym like you're going to lose some weight, So is it that you don't want to end up in that position?
I think basically it has to do with self-esteem and how your perception of self is. So it's what you want for yourself. And if you want, like for me, if I put on weight drastically, it's going to affect me and I will want to lose it. If I lose weight drastically, it's going to affect me and I will want to put back on weight. So it's all about, it depends.
Okay, Chef.
Yeah, when Dwayne was talking there, something dawned on me. I am pretty self-confident, have extremely high self-esteem from small.
Right.
But he mentioned about your wife or your friends or your loved one. If my wife now, like I say, I get back the six-pack now is a full case, right? And of course the balls, but these things don't bother me at all. But if my wife would just watch me and say, babe, when you going by the barber, You know, because she finally here again too, you know. So the ball spot showing her one shot, you know, it's like, wow, it kind of hurts, you know, because
Yeah.
it was like, oh, I ain't looking good again. You go and start looking outside, you know, and the belly.
So, Chef, since you're on the floor, tell me something that you hear a lot about yourself that you're kind of tired hearing.
Not much, you know. I think because when I was younger, people were kind of afraid that I beat them up or something. They wouldn't really, you know, step to me out that time, you know, except that fella on the court. But, the only thing I had was the weight issues.
The weight. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Rossi, is there anything that you continuously hear about yourself that you're kind of tired of?
It's not that I'm tired of it, but something I would have experienced at one point were my toes, boy. You know, some people like sexy toes, some people are not really into toes, whatever.
Toe fetish.
Okay.
For some reason, I inherited some toes with some toenails actually that kind of dark. Now, I'm a guy who do manicures and stuff because I like to keep myself proper. But that never seemed to work. I mean, there's nothing I seem to be able to do that could fix these toenails. So, you know, at one point in the earlies, I would say my wife used to be like, but we're going on with them dashing diggers, boy.
Dashing diggers.
Kind of affect me in a kind of way, but now I realize, but it's not a health issue or it's bad toes, it's just how my toes are.
It's genetics.
It's genetics because even my father's toes are like this, my brother's toes, you know, we all have the same type. So then I realize it's genetics, so it don't affect me no more. But I ask you that question. What about you? What somebody thinks people ask you or tell you?
Well, to tell you the truth, when I was younger, in primary school coming up, people used to call me Lipton now way because my lips kind of big now way.
Lipton,
so just like how you grow into your head, I grow into my lips now. I think
it's all about self-love, you know, people. It's self-love, right? I don't love self. Love.
I think at this age now, I've reached a point where I'm comfortable with myself. I think if I had to pick something, it would be the gray hairs. I'm getting used to that, along with this bald spot, boy. My barber tell me about it.
You have a bald spot?
Yeah, starting to get one, boy, Cobell, boy. My barber tell me about it, and I was in denial. But the other day, Malik was making some jokes, and I was like, yeah, boy. So I'm dealing with that. So if I had to pick something, I think nobody needs. I know. Okay, yes, I know I have a bald spot. You all don't need to tell me about it again. All right? Okay. Good.
But what is it about like losing your hair that makes men feel that, you know, you're automatically unattractive? Because if you only when I started to lose my hair, I started to take notice of everybody around me, and I noticed a large, I wouldn't say a large percent, but there's a good percentage of men out there who have male pattern baldness, different types.
Right.
But yet there's still the stigma attached that once you are losing your hair, but it's genetic, it's nothing really could do anything about it. Then why is there still this thing that, you know, if you're losing your hair, if you're going bald, then you're unattractive, that you are, I think that's the best thing.
You're not living up to society. You're not living up to society's idea.
You know what, Dwayne?
I don't disagree with you that ball.
No, the reason why I'm asking that is that I do a lot of reading, and they were saying that men hair products, skin products are in the billions now.
Big market.
That means men are spending money on facials. Even my beard, my wife bought a beard shampoo for me and all kind of stuff. So they're selling basically anything now. So the face products, the hair products, men are spending their money on these things. So why is it that men are still looked at, you know, men still are under the perception that if you're going bald, you're automatically unattractive. You're automatically, you know, your self-esteem starts to go down.
Before my mama's connection got a little disrupted, I was not, when I heard Keon was getting bald, I was not going to tell him, welcome to the League of Distinguished Gentlemen.
But you know, Cobell, I actually agree with you.
Thank you.
I actually started losing, the little sunroof started to come in at the age of 17. I was still in school.
Oh.
And I think being around my dad, who was already bald, I had accepted it from a very young age.
It was easy.
I was never in denial of it. You know, but what actually caught me at one point was my beard started to get some spots where hair wasn't growing. And now while
like
I was
bald, mange or something.
boy, that's the exact word my wife used. She was like, you have mange, you're looking like Spock. And my wife would have torment me with this thing about looking like Spock.
So as you're saying, sorry to cut you across, but as you were saying, your wife started tormenting and thing. Do you think it's part of our cultural traditions to like give people pick-on? Like, you know, and it's supposed to be passed over in jest?
Well, we are living in Trinidad and Tobago.
Exactly.
That peacock is a way of life for us. That is
for real.
Our every day.
Yes, but even though peacock is our way of life for us, remember, not everybody can absorb the amount of peacock and teasing, as everybody is different. Every individual has a different reaction to how someone perceives them and how they internalize what is told to them. So, for instance, me telling Rusty that he have a big head might affect Rusty, or me just giving him some pong about the head. But if you tell probably me, who I know I have a big head, it might affect me. Well, probably when I was younger, because my head was big. Well, my head's still big, but
guys, I think we
has a lot to do with social conditioning and how we are programmed from smaller, from looking at the media coming up. Because as Dwayne mentioned earlier, look at superheroes. Superheroes always chisel and cut. Look, recently, I don't know who of those of you who saw the Avengers, when Thor was fat, people lock off Thor. People say, "Well, Thor can't save nobody." I don't know, because you know it's back down to apart from conditioning, it boils back down to perception. What we perceive people who look a certain way are capable of or not. You know, some people, when they look at somebody who's tall, they see them as assertive, they have leadership qualities. Somebody who are short, for example, men who are short, they have something, I think they call the Napoleon complex, where they overcompensate for things. And they buy a big van or a big truck. All of these things tie straight back in to how we were conditioned. It could have some little...
Excuse that, but Wayne, do you have a big van or a big truck or something? Because I'm trying to figure out if Curve trying to throw some words for here now, boy.
No, I'm not throwing words. I'm just speaking in general. Throw words? Come on, I'm not being body shaming yourself. What I'm saying too is that it all ties back into... It could tie back into toxic masculinity as well, and what we are told is a man, who a man's supposed to be, and if it's that, is that really fact or is it a fallacy?
Okay. Gents, so, I mean, we had a real good discussion this evening. We heard a lot, we learned a lot, you know. We found out some things about people that we didn't even know. You know, I just want to say thanks to Dwayne for logging in and checking us out this evening. We really appreciate your content. As usual, remember we are on a podcast now. Check the comments down below for the details on that information. All right, so just want to say thanks to you guys. Chef, we know you had a long day today, boy, and you still show up and you represent. We appreciate that. All right, so Kubel, thanks again. Anthony and Rossi, with them. What kind of toes you have?
Dashing niggas.
Dashing niggas. All right, so Chef, you want to wrap up for us as we head out this evening?
Yeah, well, not much to say. You know, tonight was great, guys. Really looking forward to the comments on this one. Both from the men and the ladies. You know, ladies, what you all look for in a man, I guess, and men, what gives you a little shake up about your body? You know, what shaming factors? So the comments would be nice on this one. So don't forget, like, follow, and share, and we look forward to hearing from you.
All right.